All right. Hello. Today I am going to unravel the differences between probiotics and digestive enzymes because I know even for some of my clients, they're confused on what I'm talking about at times when I mention enzymes, and then they think we're doing probiotics. And so there's definitely a big difference between the two. And I think it's important for you all to understand. So as we always talk about on this channel is gut health. And we know how important having a happy gut is. And if you are sensing that you're having more poor gut symptoms like abdominal pain, gas, bloating, maybe constipation or diarrhea, and things aren't feeling very good, oftentimes other systems in our body aren't feeling very good. And so this is where digestive enzymes and probiotics could come into play. Now, before we dig into those two supplements, I just want to kind of explain how does the digestive system work? And for many of us, we don't often think about how it does my digestive system work. And so it begins as soon as you put food in your mouth and you start chewing. And once it gets into the stomach, then their food is going to be broken down by hydrochloric acid and also enzymes in our stomach. Once it travels into our small intestine, that's where a lot of that metabolism and also just kind of the absorption of our nutrients comes into play. And of course, then it travels into our large intestine where we have most abundant flora. And that's, of course, at the end of the day, it comes out as waste. And so just understanding the basics of how your digestive system works will help you understand when to use enzymes or when to use probiotics. But first, before we dig into the differences between those two, I just want to introduce myself, and I'm Marcy Vasky. I'm a licensed nutritionist with Fluso Nutrients. At Fluso Nutrients, we are dedicated and passionate about educating you on the world of supplementation. And of course, anything we say today are, things that we use with our clients, but I always recommend that you speak to a supplement literate practitioner before you begin the use of some supplements. That's just for your safety, as we don't know what medications you're on or if there's other symptoms that you might be having that we wouldn't want to be doing certain supplementations. So now let's dig back into our topic. And I love this one because I love enzymes and I like probiotics too. But I think it's so fun to help you understand what the differences really are. So as I said just a moment ago, sometimes my clients are even confused on what enzymes are versus probiotics. And just to explain this, we'll start with what are probiotics. Probiotics are going to be a good type of flora that helps to rebalance the microbiome in our intestinal tract. So you've heard about these for years. They can be very helpful for poor gut health and help to, decrease bloating, decrease gas. Also can kind of help to metabolize your food better within the digestive system, not within the stomach necessarily. And so probiotics are mostly found in our intestinal tract. You will find some probiotic or flora in your stomach and your esophagus. We have bacteria everywhere. But what we're talking about mainly when we talk about probiotics is going to be in your lower intestinal tract. Now, what are enzymes? Enzymes are quite different, and they work in our digestive system as soon as we start chewing our food. So once the food gets into our stomach, we have enzymes that help to digest all the different macros, and macros meaning protein, carbs, and fats. And those main enzymes are going to be, you have an amylase, which helps to digest the carbohydrates. You have a protease, which helps to digest the protein. And then you have a lipase, which helps to digest the fats. And those are just some of them. Those are the main ones that are going to be active in trying to digest your food. And when we digest our food better with these enzymes, what happens is that we oftentimes see a reduction in gas and in bloating, and also even a reduction in diarrhea and help with constipation. I would say most of my clients will see a reduction in gas and bloating because if we're not digesting our food well in our stomach, then we feel that bloat, like our food is just sitting there far too long. So it feels uncomfortable, it hurts, and we just feel yucky. And if our gut has to work harder downstream, that just makes for more bloating and more gas. So now we know the difference between probiotics, which is the good flora, and then enzymes, which help break down our food. Now, where can you find these, right? If you're not doing any kind of supplementation, there are enzymes and good flora in our foods. And so to find healthy flora for increasing the diversity of your microbiome, you're going to learn most about something called bifidobacterium and lactobacillus. They're the most well-known, and they are the most abundant in our intestinal tract. And so you can find those within your foods. And again, you've heard us talk about this before, but of course you're going to find good flora in fermented foods. So things like sauerkraut, miso, kimchi, good whole milk yogurts are going to have a lot of that good lactobacillus in it. And so you can consume these. And I would say that if you don't really have any gut issues, making sure you're getting some of these fermented type foods within your daily meal plan is going to be great. And that's going to keep your gut healthy. But if you are struggling with some gut health, that's where maybe an actual probiotic supplement is going to be most beneficial. So now, how do you increase your enzyme activity just by eating foods? And if you're consuming plenty of raw vegetable and also raw fruits, specifically things like papaya, because that has bromelain in it, which will be really good. Even pineapple is great for digestion. In addition to consuming legumes and seeds, that can all increase the enzyme activity within your stomach and help to break down those foods. And again, I think if you have a pretty healthy gut, just, consuming these foods within your weekly or daily meal plan, you're going to stay tip-top shape. But if you're really struggling with, kind of what I talked about, like feeling bloated and your food sitting there for a long time, then a digestive enzyme might be the way to go. Now, if you after you've been listening to this for a few minutes, you're thinking, yeah, maybe I do need a probiotic supplement. So what should I be looking for? And the things that you want to always look for is going to be a third-party tested supplement. That means that it's been tested outside of the lab to make sure that what's on the outside package is actually inside the capsule. Now, probiotics also come in a powdered form, and sometimes it's easier to get them in that way just because you can throw them in a smoothie, you could stir it up in some yogurt if you want to, or just easily take it with a little bit of water. But just looking for a good supplement that's going to give you a bit more diversity within your microbiome. I'm going to list some of the probiotics down below, which I really like to use with my clients and have been very gentle, not like we're having like a million different strains of probiotic. I think keeping it kind of succinct when it comes to strains of probiotic can be most helpful. And if you're looking also for taking a digestive enzyme, there's several out on the market as well as probiotics. But when it comes to digestive enzymes, you need to understand too what your symptoms are, because sometimes people are just low in enzymes. Doesn't mean then that they're necessarily low in hydrochloric acid. But so the thing you want to look for is if there's hydrochloric acid in a digestive enzyme, then that means you're helping to also increase your acid in the stomach, which isn't a bad thing. But if that's not really what you need, then you would want to stay away from it. So when it comes to enzymes, they can be a little bit more finicky, just making sure you're getting the one that works for you. And I think also when you take a supplement form of digestive enzymes, making sure you're taking it the right way. And the right way is going to be 10 or 15 minutes before you eat a meal is usually what works best for most people. Now, I have clients that also take them right when they start eating because that just feels better and it works. And that's okay too. And so I think just understanding that, you are N of 1, so you kind of have to test it out. But I would say the majority is taking it 10 or 15 minutes before you eat and then letting it kind of, activate your enzymes within your stomach. And then when you put the food in, you just feel better. So in addition to the probiotics that I list below, I will also list some digestive enzymes that I really like and are easy to take, just as I mentioned. So just to conclude quickly, I hope that this was helpful and so now you have a better understanding between the difference of digestive enzymes and probiotics. And this way you can make a better and more educated choice for yourself going forward. Now, remember to make comments if you have any, or if you have questions down below. Also, please subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.